In this video, I'm going to go over the differences between assessment and evaluation in terms of your lesson plan. So there's a certain way that I want you to go about thinking about assessment versus evaluation. And so what I want you to do for this particular lesson plan is I want you to focus more on the assessment, not necessarily the evaluation. So let me go over what those terms are and what those differences are between the terms. So with your assessment, it's a systematic collection, which means that systematically through the structure, you're collecting items and it's an ongoing process. So it's all these little tiny data points that you are collecting along the way to inform your instruction. Now there's the key point. So let's say you have this unit on bugs. You know, every day that you're talking about different aspects of bugs, you're collecting little pieces of information to inform your instruction. So let's say right in the middle of the lesson, they're not understanding some of the differences between arachnids and other insects. And so you're going to stop right there based on that little piece of information you collected, and you're going to maybe go a different direction. You're going to say, okay, this is not working, let me try this. So it's meant to inform your instruction while you're going. And those can be lots and lots of different things, and we'll go over that in a minute. But an assessment is kind of the here and now. How is this going to affect my instruction in the immediate future? Okay. Your evaluation is this one moment in time. It's kind of like you've done with your bug unit, and now we're done with this bug unit, and now let me see really what the measurement of those outcomes to goals are. So now that we've done this entire unit, what do they know? It's one moment in time, it's one capture, it's not this collection of data. So the way I kind of talk to students about it is through this lens of the lesson plan. So what I'm doing right now with the lesson plan submission 1 is to say, okay, are they getting it? What is it that I need to go back and I need to reteach? I'm looking at increasing the quality of your actual output. So I'm looking at these tiny indicators. How'd you do on your learning objective? How'd you do on your blooms? All right, if those things aren't going so hot, I need to reteach, I need to redirect. And so that's kind of what assessment is this ongoing to inform your instruction. Now at the end, when you submit your final lesson plan, then I'm going to sit back and I'm going to judge the quality of it. I'm going to say, okay, here's this one moment in time, here's how they did. You know, so I'm standing back and I'm evaluating the flower. I'm not trying to give you the tools to help you understand. That's assessment, but I'm evaluating it at the end. It's a one-time judgment. So again, what I'm looking for are assessments for your lesson plan, and they can be formative or they can be kind of summative. So let me go in what I mean by that. Excuse me. So a formative assessment is a process, not a test. And so with a formative assessment, we talked about informing your instruction. It's like right now, immediate, or in the near future. So again, it's one of those things that, let me bring up that list. Maybe you're doing a classroom discussion and you're like, okay, they're not understanding this at all. So let me go ahead and I've got to stop now and I need to reteach, or maybe I need to go in a different direction. Or as they're working through stations, you can say, okay, they're not understanding how to add and subtract. So let me go ahead and work with this student. I'm going to immediately change my instruction. Or you're making observations and you're saying, okay, instead of next class period, me moving forward, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slow it down. So all those formative assessments are kind of in the moment. So where you might find an assessment even within your process is to say, okay, if you have stations in your process, or you're doing a discussion in your process, then you can say, all right, that's kind of how I'm going to assess what's being done. I'm going to use that as one of my assessment tools to stop and say, did they understand the concept through the discussion, through the station, through whatever it is in that process that you have them work on? Or it could be, oh, and I'm going to provide this link, but I'm going to provide it inside Canvas for you, and it just gives you a long list of different types of assessments, so you have some more ideas on what that looks like. So I will provide that link, or right now you could just take a screenshot, you know, of that and save it for later. Your summative assessment is to help you make go, no-go decisions. So it's information after the instruction has already taken place. So your formative is kind of in the moment. You know, you're doing like thumbs up, thumbs down. It could be Kahoots. It could be whiteboards. It could be a whole lot of things for in the moment. Your summative assessment is after the instruction is complete. So you've done your whole process. Now you're done. Now you're giving them something to assess what they know. So it's kind of after the instruction is complete, but to inform your instruction still moving forward. So maybe some of those ideas are exit tickets. I love exit tickets. I use them a lot when I taught middle school. So I would have them write down something, based on a question, and they would hand me that exit ticket as they walked out the door. And that way I could look through and say, okay, yes, they got it, or no, they didn't. Or what about graphic organizers or some sort of written assignment? But it's something that they're doing at the end to demonstrate their understanding, and they're using that information to inform further instruction. So in that lesson plan, what I'm going to be looking for is in that final section that you're telling me your assessment piece. So how are you going to see if they're understanding the material either during your process or once your process is done? And so again, refer back to that link. It's got lots of great suggestions and examples and things of that nature.